So how do we know if we have a redox reaction? What did he do? He gained electrons. So this is the oxidation. Let's talk about redox reaction. And redox stands for reduction, which I'll need to define for you, and oxidation. So it's just a mashup. I love this word. So basically, it's when a chemical reaction involves the transfer of electrons. So how do we know if we have a redox reaction? Well, I want you to remember this acronym, OIL-RIG. You'll see this probably in your textbook or hear your teacher talking about it. Oxidation, the definition, is when we are losing electrons. And then if somebody loses electrons, then somebody else is going to gain electrons, and that's what we call reduction. And believe me, I say this to myself all the time to get this straight. So let's look at a reaction, and I'll explain to you how we know what is oxidized and what is reduced. So the secret, first of all, is to write all of the oxidation states. So iron here is a 0 because it's an element. Oxygen is 0. And then at the end, we have this compound. We know that oxygen is -2, and the iron in this case is a +3. Okay, so let's look at this. The iron goes from 0 to +3. What did he do to go to a +3? He lost electrons, right? And then the oxygen goes from 0 to -2. What did he do? He gained electrons. So that's how you determine if something is redox. Does the oxidation state change for an element? In this case, we see that it does. All right, let's do another example. And the first thing that we need to do is just write all of the oxidation numbers. Good practice at doing this. Okay, I'll do the easy ones first, right? I'll do the oxygen here, 0. I see oxygen is -2. Carbon must be +4. -2 + 1. Okay, we're going to go over here to the methanol. I've got a +1, a -2, a +1. Now we just have to figure out the carbon here. Okay, so 3 + 1 is +3 plus another, that's +4. And then the oxygen is a -2. So this must be a -2. Okay. Now, did something change? Well, I picked up something right away. The carbon goes from a -2 to a +4. So what did it do? It lost electrons. Okay, and what is losing electrons? This is the oxidation. Okay, well, if it lost electrons, something must have gained electrons. Well, let's look up here. I see the oxygen goes from 0 to a -2. What did it do? It gained electrons, and so that is the reduction. Okay, and that is just a clear, simple way to determine what is oxidized and what is reduced. So in this case, carbon is oxidized and the oxygen is reduced. So how do you do this? First, you must assign oxidation numbers to every atom in the equation, and then look at it and say, well, what happened? Who gained electrons and who lost electrons?